Hello, welcome to Astro Vedic Astrology channel. Today I'm going to discuss about a planet called Saturn. Now that planet tests you. He's a judge. He's going to test you. So what if your planet would make you a king, like a billionaire or a very strong personality in the world, but it will also leave you struggling your whole life? There's only one planet that have a solid combination who can actually make you or break you. What if it depends on just one thing, and the planet sits in exact moment at the time of your birth, and the planet's name is the Saturn. Today we are going to go through all the 12 houses about understanding one by one how the Saturn is going to affect you and say how are you. So why Saturn and what is Saturn? Saturn is called Shani in Vedic astrology. It moves very slowest planet, is the farthest from the sun. He is the child of sun. He stays in one sign for almost 2.5 years. That's his one sign. So he takes complete round around sun take 30 years. And if the planet of karma, he's called the planet of karma. He is the planet of discipline, on time, your life, your Kaal. Saturn does not love shortcuts. He is on a long journey. It gives you exactly what you deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. Saturn is the most powerful, exalted in Libra, and he's his own sign, Capricorn and Aquarius. When Saturn in the signs, he's at home. But when in enemy signs, you will search home. That means you will struggle. So do you. Okay, so the ancient text of Phaladeepika has given some context. By the way, just to clear, this is just only one planet. Some inferences will come. It will be only seen after the complete chart whether you are really having the experience. But the Saturn experience will keep coming. You have to live with the facts. And that's your prarabdha. That's a life struggle you have to live. And that Saturn is going to give you. So, if the Saturn is strong, you will rise. The Saturn is weak, you will struggle. Life is hard. Now, let go each house by house. So, Saturn in Lagna or Saturn in the first house. It's a Lagna ascendant where the Saturn is placed. See, any planet sits in the first house, obviously controls your entire life. It controls you entire life. So if Saturn is in the Libra or Capricorn or Aquarius in your Lagna, then you are born with energy of king, a leader, a mayor, a very strong personality. Ancient text also confirms that, and Brihat Parashara Uttarakalamrit also agree that Sagittarius and Pisces are the great scholars, handsome people. But if Saturn in the first house, childhood is filled with sorrow and struggle. Person is poor, sickly, inactive, and starts very hard. The struggle is extremely hard. Why? The first house is you, your body, your personality, your persona, your appear in the world. And Saturn here makes you look like a mature person. He give an identity, entire life from the birth. It colors everything else in this chart. So, what it brings your physical body, how you look, general health, personality. Saturn's karma hit immediately, and the personality. Right sign king, wrong sign tough, lifetime of catching up. So, this is the first house. Let's talk about second house wealth, family, speech, everything comes in that. Saturn in second house, the face is not attractive. The person does not follow the righteous path. Second house, Saturn is not easy. Money is scarce in the life. And the beautiful part is later part of the life, everything changes. Person leaves as soon as person leaves his birthplace, and after that the wealth comes, vehicle comes, enjoyment comes. Saturn makes you earn your comfort slowly but surely. It's not deny, it's just delay. Why? The second house govern your face, money, speech, immediate family, food. Saturn what brings here, but it does not deny them forever. It will come eventually, but it takes a little late. You have to first after you finish your struggle. What it brings, face becomes less attractive. Speech may become a harsh. Early family life is in trouble, and but the Saturn rewards patience. He gives you remain patient, you will get everything. After a major change in the life or migration, movement, wealth and comfort arise in the second phase of life, and you will get everything. Damn sure. Courage, third house, siblings, communication. These are the areas you will Saturn impact you. Saturn in third house makes a person very intelligent, wise beyond with their years, liberal in thinking. They live well and with their spouse. But the Saturn curse here, they are deeply lazy. They know what to do. They just don't do this. Unhappiness follows them, and unusual potential or unused potential is the one of the reason they've been not utilized. Why? Third house governs courage, short travels, siblings, writings, hands. Saturn, he gives you a sharp intelligence but takes away to drive to use it. What it brings: razor sharp mind, very strong mind, third house, great thinker, good marriage. But Saturn's heavy energy makes them slow to act. They know a lot to do, but they do little, and that gap creates sadness. House number 4, that's a fourth house. It's all about home, mother, inner peace. Saturn in the fourth house is a bit difficult. The person is bereft from the goodness of the home comfort, loses the home of comfort and lose the respect and the blessing of their mother. Child who is marked by illness, there is no hope or no peace inside. Even if they have a house, they does not feel like home. Unhappiness runs deep. As soon as they step out of home, they will feel good, they will charged up. The fourth house is about home, mother, inner peace, property, early childhood security. Saturn here removes the very thing that they makes a child feel safe. It brings no stable home. Home is really challenge. Weak relationship with mother, sickly childhood. The person grows up with a without a secure emotional foundation, and this follows them with the same thing in the adulthood as well. If the Saturn in the fifth house, intelligence, children, creativity, all the area romance where you are with seeing the Saturn's role is there. Saturn in the fifth house, no one of the hardest placement in the chart that makes mind becomes dark, evil minded, says the ancient text. No learning, no children, no wealth, no happiness. Now these are only one placement. Don't go with this as a combination. You have to see the whole chart. The person roams aimlessly and they cannot find their directions in life. This is a placement needs a strong remedies and prayers. So see, every challenge doesn't mean your life is doomed. You have remedies, you have solutions, you can follow that, and you will really come out of it. It takes time because Saturn delays it, slows it, but it will eventually come. Fifth house governs children, education, past life, merit, creativity, and joy. But Saturn here attacks on all those areas of happiness and future. What it brings: children denied, denied or troubled. Education suffers. The mind turns negative and the person wanders without purpose. And this is a Saturn collecting old karma heavily. So it's a Purva Punya place where your Saturn is placed. So there is a some challenges are there, blockages are in the Purva Punya. So you always initially have to wander heavily and then you will eventually will settle down. Saturn in sixth house, enemies health service. Saturn in sixth house, there is a Saturn shines. This is a place of Saturn. The person eats heartily. They are gluttons. They become wealthy. Enemies are completely defeated. Saturn makes the enemies defeated because the sixth house is about fighting and endurance, and Saturn is the master of endurance. No one, he is having that ability to fight long time. The others will tired of that fight. They'll say, okay, leave it here, I will just go. That's what happens. But watch out, arrogance grows here too. Sixth house is enemies, dates, diseases, and service. Saturn thrives here. So this is one of the best placements. Saturn loves work, discipline, and overcoming obstacles. What brings Saturn brings a weapon against enemies. This person is tireless. Wealth builds through service and lot of efforts. Health is maintained through heavy discipline. And but the pride and arrogance become a risk. So you need to be very careful what to do and what not to do in certain houses. House number seven, seventh house. If Saturn in seventh house, it's all affecting your marriage, partner, spouse, partnerships. The Saturn in seventh house has create very difficult relationship. The person develops connection with wrong type of partner. They're poor, they wander from place to place. There is no real happiness in their partnership. See, see again, it is not definitely it will happen. Eventually, as your partner matures, he will become a good friend of you, and then eventually the marriage also, what you can say, cook well after a long time. So that's where you can say the food like food takes good food you have to cook really well, so it takes time to cook well, so that way you can look at the Saturn. So are you choosing love wisely or just filing a void? The seventh house is a marriage, business partnership and relationship. Saturn create delay, coldness or wrong choices in relationship. What it brings, attached to the wrong partner, marriage is delayed or troubled. Person never settles in life, physically or emotionally. Saturn teaches hard lesson about commitment and where to trust, where to commit. This is the learning. Now, eighth house is about life. Saturn is Kaal, longevity, secrets, transformation, occult. Saturn in the eighth house is very, very difficult. The person is unclean in his habits. They suffer from painful conditions. Piles is mentioned in the ancient text. No wealth, cruel in nature, always hungry, always hungry. What is the worst of all? Friends leave them, definitely, and they are avoided. This is the reason Saturn is purging the soul through suffering. You have to learn from suffering. See, all planets come in our life giving some kind of learning, some kind of lesson. We have to learn. And eventually, when you become old, you will realize, okay, I have learned from this planet, these challenges I learned, this thing, I learned this thing. I don't want to, I should have not made a mistake, I should have been very better. So all these reconciliation analysis, how manjan, you can do it in the old age when you see that what mistakes you've done. So Saturn governs your death, Saturn covers your sudden events, Saturn covers your transformation, Saturn covers your hidden matters, chronic illness, transformation. Saturn here brings slow and heavy suffering. Heavy suffering. The kind that builds with is hard to shake. What it brings? Health problems accumulate over years. Social isolation grows. The person is abandoned by those they trust. Life feels heavy and dark, but the deep transformation is possible if they go inward. So, why Saturn come in the eighth house? To make you isolate so that you can focus on your inward journey. So these people have ability to build the spiritual progress or path in much better way because society is rejecting you. Ninth house, it's all about dharma, fortune, father. Ninth house is the most fascinating placement. The general rule, no luck. General rule, no father's blessing, irreligious, wicked. But if Saturn is strong, exalted, or aspected by Jupiter, especially in reverse, the person becomes deeply spiritual, a seeker, a tapasvi. He can be a tapasvi. Ma Anandamai is one of the greatest saints, had a Saturn exalted in the ninth house. Or Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Saturn in the ninth house exalted. Man, these are the greatest of souls we have seen in Indian spiritual segment. The ninth house does not break dharma. When it becomes strong, it becomes a dharma. They create dharma. That's what the ninth house exalted Saturn can give. It's righteousness, religion, higher learning, ninth house, father, divine fortune. But Saturn came here can give you two completely opposite way depending on its strength and aspects. Weak Saturn destroys fortune, father and faith. Strong Saturn is with Jupiter's aspect. create a great spiritual soul or saint or tapasvi. The same house, two completely different lives. You can just see, just change in the sign, you can see the difference. Saturn in 10th house, career, status, power, authority. Saturn in 10th house, very powerful placement. The native becomes equal to king, valiant, renowned, respected, and connected to agriculture and the earth. That's where the important. This is the Saturn is the most natural zone. Work hard, and the world rewards you greatly. You just work hard. You keep on focus on your work. No shortcuts. Don't take immoral activity or immoral way or shortest way. Don't cheat. But the destination is a real power. 10th house is a career, social status, authority, public life. Saturn is the planet of work and structure. And the 10th house is the house of work and structure. They perfectly match. So, what it brings fame, authority, powers, success comes through consistent efforts. A lot of efforts you have to put. Rise on the top. It will be slow. Obviously, it will not come quickly, but with surely. The harder you work, the higher you go. One of the Saturn's strong placements for the worldly success. Famous, absolute famous guy. On the 10th house Saturn. Saturn in 11th house, gains, income, network. Saturn in the house makes a person another strong placement, very strong placement, because the person is free from serious illness. Income flows in the steadily, wealth builds, then it will stay for long. The Saturn rewards patience. You have to keep patience, slow money, sure money, lasting money. So, 11th house governs your income, gains, elder siblings, the fulfillment of desires. Saturn builds wealth slowly, but it makes permanent. What it brings steady and lasting income. Health is protected, strong network built over the time. And when they earn, they keep. Saturn's slow energy ensures nothing is lost carelessly. So, now last talk about Saturn in the 12th house. It's a loss, isolation, liberation place, and you're putting Saturn, the karma there. So what happened? The most unfortunate placement in the world, placement in the chart, but the person is impudent, poor, often childless. But again, I'm telling you, this is the not only placement you have to see. There are multiple things you have to see in the chart, aspects of good planets like Jupiter or Moon and all this required, because then only you can say the benefic planets aspect can nullify or sometimes reduce the malefic effect. Uh, there may be a physical defects or limitations. Enemies defeat them. The mind is dull and slow. Now again, I'm saying not everyone 12th Saturn is going to be mind is slow. There could be a good planets looking them. It will be great. Um, so remember, the 12th house is also liberation. And when you lose everything, you let go everything. And then what? In the end, Saturn's greatest gift. The 12th house governs losses, foreign lands, expenses, isolation, final liberation. Saturn has created life of worldly loss and defeat. But what it brings? Poverty, physical challenges, childlessness, defeat by enemies. But at a deeper level, the placement faces forces complete detachment, and that is the beginning of a spiritual freedom, moksha. See, all planets, especially Saturn, come here, he is teaching you some lesson. Saturn come here, he is come here to teach you some lesson, but that lesson is to learn from that lesson and revive self. That is the is way forward again. So to close this, I can only say that we just went to the 12th house. Saturn touches every single area of life. Here is the truth of Saturn. It's not your enemy. It's the most honest planet in the sky, and it shows you your karma. What happens? We live, we when we born, we are accepted certain karmas, and then we forget very conveniently because our memory doesn't keep in mind that, or if the memory doesn't remain in the mind. So what happens? We get engulfed into our worldly, materialistic lives, and then we forget our own goal. Saturn makes sure you don't lose your goal. Even if you are distracted, he will ensure that with pain, with sorrows, with challenge, with let go situation, with disappointments. Eventually, he'll push you towards the right path. So rather than he's pushing, let's ourselves accept and move on. I think that's the best way. So uh, the ancient texts said it in thousands of years ago, and it's still true today. Saturn is always watching us, and it is always payback every single karma eventually. Thank you for watching, and if you like my video, please uh, press the like button. If you love my channel, subscribe my channel, and do share with the friends who are loving to know about what is happening with the Saturn in their life in the chart. So please share with them. And thank you for watching. Jai Shani Dev.